this will hopefully be the last video that I ever have to record with natural lighting or with lighting from fluorescent lights and shit like that, because I got a ring light coming in. But I had to get this video on today because today has been a monumental day for me. And I just have to start by saying, for anybody that has struggled with sobriety, anybody that has struggled with like making a choice for themselves to like not engage in certain things or ways of being from like an old lifetime or past life or what have you, and you find struggle in just like reminding yourself why, or like staying invested in like your highest good and just making the right decisions for you, like trust and believe you are not alone. You are seen, you are felt, you are heard. It is not easy. You are choosing yourself. Please be proud of you. And I had to get this whole environment because I know that you can hear shit going on in the background. Listen, Bed-Stuy be jumping, and girl, I had to make sure that I got all of this in its entirety because I cannot wait until it is not given this. But no. So I guess I had to do this as an ode to my choice to not drink alcohol anymore. I'm not about to sit here and say that I have not done other drugs or other things. But the conscious choice to stop drinking liquor is something that I am proud of myself for, even though it is difficult to like consciously choose that every day, because it's not just a mind thing. It's not just a body thing. It's a body, mind, spirit, like everything encompassed into one. And having that choice around, you know, not just engaging in, you know, alcohol or drinking, but also those environments that center around those events, you know what I mean? Or center around like those actions. So it makes me think about like, you know, going to parties or going to like hangouts or brunches and things of that nature where, you know, drinking is going to be like the main function or the main thing that people are going to be like engaging in and socialize, and choosing not to go to those types of things, even when it's like, I want to be a part of the group, or I just not necessarily want to be a part of the group. I just want to be normal. I want to be like other Black gay men in New York City that, you know, can go out to parties and have a good time and, you know, socialize with, you know, their girls or kiki and all that shit. Sometimes I miss just like getting out of my mind, getting out of my body and just engaging and just like being free in that way. But it's always come with a price for me in the past. And I just cannot have that happen anymore. You know, I come from a long line of, you know, bad drinking days and long nights of hospitals and, you know, police stations and all this other crazy shit. And it took me a very long time to like make that conscious decision to not engage in that stuff anymore. And also just like know that whatever I'm missing out on is not worth the peace of mind that I get from, you know, not going to those things anymore, you know, because it's like even going sober, or just like, you know, you smoking a blunt, whatever, you know, do a little whatever. It's still not the same. And I feel weird. I feel exposed. I feel misunderstood after putting myself in those spaces where I'm not on the same level or trying to feel like I'm like catching up. And I also, as I'm saying this, I'm like, if I feel like I have to go to an event or go to a party or something like that, and I have to be on something in order to socialize, and that's probably not a space that I should be going, because being around people in those types of environments or in that capacity should not give me anxiety or should not affect me in that way. So if I'm already starting to think or feel that I have to be doing something in order to keep up with people, that's probably not a place I should be. And I know that that's something that I know for me, and I have to like acknowledge and be real about it. This shit is hard, because I just want to be like everybody else. I want to go back to that life of me being able to like run the streets, be out until whatever hours. I know I'm not the same age anymore, but just like the idea of, it's like a sense of freedom that I feel like alcohol gives people. You know, you get out of your head, even when you have your little glass of wine to unwind for the night or what have you. It's just like you are, you know, allowing yourself to like ease. And I don't have that same level of ease anymore as far as that substance is concerned. But I also know that the experiences that I've had with the substance have not come up as roses all the time. Like, I have some pretty dark shit that I've experienced when it comes to drinking and the people that it's affected in my life, not just myself. So constantly choosing to be sober is monumental. And today was one of those days where it was just like, you know, you could put yourself in that space. You could engage in, you know, those acts with people, not necessarily drinking, but just like being around those folks. Because I will say that I've gotten a lot better about like not getting tempted to drink. Like, I may talk about it, I may think about it, I may feel like I want to, but I've done a really great job of not doing it. And that is important in itself. But then it's also important for me to know that, you know, I used to love to drink. And even though I know in my mind, like my right mind now, that it's not going to do anything for me, it's just going to make me feel icky, it's going to make me feel whatever, like the next day, it's going to make me feel guilty. You know, I still am proud of myself for also making sure that I protect myself and protect my energy. I was having a conversation with an older friend of mine, somebody I knew from my college years that has recently popped back up into my life in a different way. And we were talking about the journey of like being attuned to Reiki and how it really sheds some shit for you as far as like your human self and recognizing the people around you and where you have been shifting to match other people's energy instead of them shifting to match yours, and you always like being aware of that when other people may not be, and how that journey has like opened you up to the world in a different way. And it really just like clicked for me in regards to the spaces that I used to find myself in are not the spaces that I need to be in anymore, because they do not serve the same function as they used to. Drinking for me at one point in the past was a way to get out of my mind, and it was a way to like tap into the body and just follow those like I guess human urges, those nudges that are just like encoded in the body. But I would like completely black out the mind and just let the body do, and the body would just go wild because it was untamed, it was unheard, you know, it didn't really get the opportunity to engage in shit the way that it wanted to because it had the mind stopping it from doing a lot of that. So it's like I would get so obliterated that I could not just like hold it together. And being that far out is not safe either. And I don't know when to stop. Like, I have a really hard problem with like stopping. Like, I'm addicted to the high. Like, I'm addicted to the feeling of feeling good and it getting, you know, even much more like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? And that's not healthy. And I know that's not healthy. So I have just made the choice to like completely shift left. And that is difficult. And if you've ever had to like, you know, some people like, oh, I'm gonna put myself on this restriction, like I'm not gonna drink for this long. And, you know, sometimes they get tempted, but it's not it's like something that's still a part of your life. So it's not as, you know, like, it's not like, oh, like you feel like you're hurting yourself. You feel like you're letting yourself down. But if it is something where it's just like you've stopped and you stopped for a reason and then you have it in front of your face and people will tempt you with it, then it's just like, do you really understand how it gets to me? Like, it's not just me saying this. It's like I feel it, and I feel the resistance in my body, and I feel the frustration because I can't be on the same level. You dig? But then I have to really call in my higher self and really call in my higher mind and be like, that's not for you anymore. You know, you can choose to remind yourself that even though you're not in that space, there's so much more benefit that comes out of it in the long run. You may not see it right now, Gary DeAndre, but it's going to come in a larger way because you are trusting yourself and you're also releasing what is a lower vibration. It does not match your, you know, your imprint. It does not match your genetic like vibe. Like, it doesn't match your vibe. It doesn't, you're not there anymore. And you don't need to engage in those things that do not have you functioning at the place that you know you should be functioning at all times, or you could be functioning at all times. Don't, you know, bring yourself down one moment just to be on this earthly plane when you know that that's not going to be of your highest good or be of highest service to you. And that is a hard reminder to just like lock into, but it doesn't get easier. It just gets a little bit simpler to just remind myself why I choose to do this. And I choose my sobriety because, you know, I'm choosing my life. You know, I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing my family and my friends. I'm choosing my health. I'm choosing my safety. I'm choosing my clarity of mind, which sometimes we completely may not appreciate in the way that we should. But I do, you know, and I do really have gratitude for having these moments where I'm just like, you're not liquored out. You're not pissing on yourself like you used to. You're not sleeping with strangers. You're not getting caught up in these crazy situations the way that you were. And that counts for something. I mean, I may not see it completely right now, but I know that I'll be able to come back to this video, or this video could resonate for somebody that may run across it one day. And it's just like, no, like you sacrifice this right now, even though it would just completely satisfy the flesh, for something that's going to be of greater value in the future. And I don't know what it's going to be, but I know that this was a test. This was a challenge. It reminds me of this card that I pulled. So for the, I think it was the it was the new moon in Virgo, I believe. So sometime last month in September, I remember the trickster card came up and the challenge card came up. So it's just like, it's going to be a time of challenges, but like, are you going to, you know, stand up to the challenge? I've recorded a video a couple days ago about, you know, something this weekend, there was going to be something that does not serve you, but stick to the plan. And it's just like, I know that this is major, and it's going to pay off. And I had the awareness prior because of the studying that I've done of myself, and because of me truly listening to my body and trusting what I know is for my highest good, and asking my higher self to come into the room, and just like guide me as far as the direction I need to, and putting the pieces into the puzzle to let me know that, you know, this is the decision I had to make. And even though it may suck on this 3D plane right now, I know that I'm proud of myself in the future. God is proud of me. You know, my uncles, my aunts, my parents, you know, my family, living, non-living, all of them are proud of me too, because I chose me, and I've been choosing me. So if you're out there and you need a reminder to choose yourself, this is it. May not have everything together. Maybe you're working on trying to quit doing something that you know isn't healthy for you. I'm still working on, you know, quitting smoking, and, you know, also quitting being lazy, because I need to like start running and exercising and shit like that. But we can only do it little by little, and it's a journey, and it's just like little by little. And it starts with you being aware. It starts with you knowing that there's an issue. It starts with you knowing that there's a problem, and then wanting to do something to fix it, and knowing that the outcome of you fixing it is better than anything else that you could ask for. And I think that that is where I want to leave it, because I'm looking at myself and it's probably like almost midnight. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 11:54 p.m.
It's almost midnight. I definitely look exhausted. I'm getting ready to take a trip out of town. I'm hoping I can record a little bit while I'm out of town. I'm thinking about doing like more like daily videos of just me talking to myself and just unwinding. But I think that this is important. Sobriety is hard. Choosing yourself is hard. I know that I'm not sober from everything, but you know what I'm saying? Like choosing to be sober from something, choosing to be sober in general. Choosing yourself is hard. But there's so much benefit that comes from it in the long run. So if this is a call to anybody out there, this is a, you know, a reminder that somebody needed. Choose yourself and choose what makes you feel like you are on top of the world all the time. And this is what helps me to keep that together. So anyway, I'm going to go to sleep. I have to get ready for my trip. I love you. I love me. And This is Gangsta G. Peace.